Divisible and indivisible obligations. Article 1223 provides that the divisibility or indivisibility of the things that are the object of obligations in which there is only one debtor and only one creditor does not alter or modify the provisions of Chapter 2 of this title. Meaning to say, kahit na divisible or indivisible ang isang obligation, hindi maapektuhan yung nature niya kung joint ba siya or solidary siya. Okay? So, it depends. So, example natin ng mga divisible obligations that are to be, obligations to do that are to be performed for several days. Kunyari, the obligation to teach in a school. So, you cannot teach the whole semester in one meeting. So, it has to be done on several meetings. So, that's an example of divisible obligation. While indivisible obligation naman, these are by nature are obligations that are not susceptible of being divided. For example, the obligation to give specific things like obligation to give a car. Also, the obligation to render a song. Okay, those are indivisible. Okay, so basically 1223 says that regardless if the obligation is divisible or indivisible, it does not mean that it's automatically either joint or solidary. So a divisible one may be solidary, an indivisible one may be joint. Okay, as previously discussed in joint and solidary obligations. Article 1224, a joint indivisible obligation give rise to indemnity for damages from the time any one of the debtors does not comply with his undertaking. This debtor or the debtor who may have been ready to fulfill their promises shall not contribute to the indemnity beyond the corresponding portion of the price of the thing or of the value of the service in which the obligation consists. So, if you happen to study the previous parcel or the part of this discussion, we have mentioned about joint indivisible obligation, that even if it's indivisible, it can still be joint, and just in case one of the joint debtors is unable to fulfill his part, then the indivisible obligation will be converted into a monetary one, and wherein the debtors who are ready to fulfill their obligation, they can pay, while the one who is not ready to fulfill his obligation will later on pay and be liable for the interest and damages. So only the party who is incapable of fulfilling his share will be the one who is liable for damages or interest. 1225, okay, for the purposes of the preceding articles, obligation to give definite things and those which are not susceptible of partial performance shall be deemed to be indivisible. But it again, let me highlight, it does not mean that if it's indivisible, it's already solidary. Pwede pa rin siyang maging joint. When the obligation has for its object the execution, I think it has been mentioned a while back, of a certain number of days of work, that accomplishment of work by metrical units or analogous things which are by their nature susceptible of partial performance, then it shall be divisible. So, naglagay lang siya ng example ng divisible obligations. But again, when we talk about divisible, it does not mean that it is already joint. Okay, it can also be solidary. However, even though, ito, sinasabi natin kanina, even though the object or service may be physically divisible, an obligation is indivisible if so provided by law or intended by the parties. So, there are instances to which sinabi ng batas na indivisible siya. Okay? Or kung, yun nga, sinabi ng party na kunwari 1 million, naturally, okay, by the nature of the money, divisible siya, pero pwedeng pag-agrihan ng parties na indivisible siya. Okay, then the last paragraph of Article 1225 and also the last part of divisible and indivisible obligations, it says here that in obligations not to do, divisibility or indivisibility shall be determined on a case-to-case basis, okay, based on the character of the prestation. Okay? So, yun nga, case-to-case basis. Okay? So, kailangan nyo lang tandaan naman sa divisible or indivisible kung ano yung example ng mga divisible at indivisible obligation, at kailangan nyo ring tandaan na hindi porke divisible, joint na agad. Pwede maging solidary. And hindi porke indivisible, solidary na agad, pwede pa rin maging joint. Okay? So those are the things you have to remember as far as divisible or indivisible obligations are concerned. Okay? Next, let's talk about the last kind of obligations. Okay, the obligation with a penal clause. Okay, starting with Article 1226. In obligations with a penal clause, may penalty nakalagay na sa agreement. Okay? Kasi di ba pag nagkaroon ng breach, the injured party is entitled for the collection of damages. Pero pag meron ng penal clause, yung penalty, that's already the substitute of the damages and the interest. Okay? Nevertheless, damages shall be paid if the obligor refuses to pay the penalty. Kung pati penalty, hindi niya na nabayaran or guilty na siya ng fraud. Okay? Again, basta may fraud kasi may malicious intent na dyan. Okay? Damages will be paid on top of the penalty. Okay? But general rule, okay, if there is penal clause, then the penal clause, the penalty on that penal clause is already the substitute for the damages or the payment of interest. Okay, next paragraph for Article 1226. The penalty may be enforced only when it is demandable in accordance with the provision of the code. Okay, so ang kailangan nyo lang tandaan dito, no, penal clause substitutes the damages. Okay, for academic purposes, the penalty and the penal clause, sometimes they refer it as the liquidated damages. Okay, pag encounter kayo ng term na liquidated damages, ang ibig sabihin yan na yung damages in the form of a penalty in a penal clause. So, yun na yun. That's why it's called liquidated, napag-agrihan na siya. Okay? Academically speaking, kailangan nyo lang tandaan yung mga kinds ng penal clause, yung mga legal penal clause, conventional penal clause, ano yung pagkakaiba ng mga yon. Yung legal penal clause imposed by law, conventional penal clause agreed by the parties, joint penal clause, yung one which the principal obligation and the penalty may be demanded kasi joint. Pag subsidiary penal clause, one in which only the penalty may be demanded. Okay? 1227. The debtor, as a rule, cannot exempt himself from the performance of the obligation by paying the penalty. Okay? So, hindi niya pwedeng piliin na magbayad na lang siya ng penalty at hindi niya nagawin yung obligation niya. Except, of course, if the right to just choose the penalty is reserved or agreed upon. Okay? Dun sa obligation or dun sa usapan. Okay? Neither daw can the creditor demand the fulfillment of the obligation and the satisfaction of the penalty at the same time. Unless papasok siya dito sa 1226, no? First paragraph, na kapag meron ng fraud, okay, or kapag hindi nabayaran yung penalty, pwede pang mag-add ng damages. Pero in the absence of that, hindi pwedeng demand si creditor ng fulfillment plus penalty at the same time. Okay? Yun nga. Kaya unless this right has been clearly granted by him. However daw, after the creditor has decided to require the fulfillment, pinili niyang hintayin yung debtor na gawin yung obligasyon niya. But then, still, okay, the performance thereof become impossible. Then, there's a time, alternatively, he can go to the penalty. Okay? That's Article 1227. Next, Article 1228. Ito, importante ito, ha? As a rule, nung napag-aralan natin ng damages, di ba merong yung mental na mnemonics natin, moral, exemplary, nominal, temperate, actual, and liquidated. Okay? Pag actual damages, kailangan ng proof. Di ba? Pag yung normal na actual damage. Okay? Pero kapag yung, di ba sabi natin kanina, pag may penal clause, yun yung damage. Substitute na siya. So kapag yung actual damage is in the form of the penalty, na nandito sa obligation with the penal clause, no need na to prove yung actual damage. Kunwari, pag normal na damage yan, pag hindi yan based sa penal clause, kailangan mong mag-present ng mga resibo, computation ng actual damage para you will be entitled to reimburse that actual damages. But if the actual damage is in the form of a penalty, okay, you don't need those resibo anymore. You only need to show the contract that indicates the penal clause. Yun ang sinasabi ng Article 1228. Proof of actual damages here in obligation with the penal clause suffered by the creditor is not anymore necessary. Take note of that ha, pag yung normal na actual damage kailangan, pero kapag yung actual damage is tungkol sa penal clause, it's not necessary anymore. Legal basis, Article 1228. Okay. Article 1229. It says here that the court or the judge shall equitably reduce the penalty when the principal obligation has been partly or irregularly complied with. Nagawa niya naman pero kulang or not in accordance with the tenor of the obligation. So, hindi naman pwedeng singilin yung buong penalty. The judge will reduce it. Even if there has been no performance, pwede din daw i-reduce kapag masyadong OA. Kunwari, ang obligation mo lang naman is magbigay ng 10,000 pesos. Ang penalty, 1 million. It's iniquitous. It's unconscionable. Kahit nakapirma ka sa kontrata, kahit napanotaryuhan yan, okay, the court has to reduce it. Okay, in the interest of justice. Pero also, based on Article 1229. Okay, so parang ikokan din, makikialam yung korte, makikialam yung batas natin kung masyadong hindi makatarungan yung penalty. Okay? So that's Article 1229. And last, provision, okay, 1230, Article 1230, sabi dito, the nullity of the penal clause does not carry with it that of the principal obligation. And also, the nullity of the principal obligation, on the other hand naman, carries with it the penal clause. So kung illegal yung penal clause, okay lang, matitira yung obligation. Pero kung ang illegal yung obligation, damay ang penal clause. Okay? As simple as that. Okay? So that is Article 1230. Sige, magbigay na lang ako ng example sa 1230. Kunwari, obligation to give 1 million, failure to do so, the penalty is to sell illegal drugs. So the penalty is void, but the obligation is not void. So the principal is still valid. Only the penalty is void. So what if baliktarin natin? The obligation is to sell drugs. The penalty is to pay 1 million. So the nullity of the principal, which is the obligation to sell illegal drugs, since that is void, it carries with it the penal clause. Kahit yung penal clause ay hindi naman void. Okay? So, as simple as that. So, that is Article 1230. Okay? So, that wraps up our lesson for the different kinds of obligations.